Welcome back to Inner Peace Place. I'm Karen. Today is lesson number 33. Cultivate your clarity. Cultivate clarity in your thoughts. Yeah, that's a good one. With this work, we're looking to use our moment-to-moment decisions through the eyes of both our personality self, habits, and experiences, and engage it with an action of opening up to the guidance that we could receive in the moment from our higher source or soul self or whatever you want to call it. So cultivating clarity. Cultivate, similar to a garden, it takes work. It can be joyful work. You're sitting in the garden or you're bending over in the garden or whatever, and you're taking care of your flowers or plants through a state of joy or in a state of joy. But it does take time. I guess that's what I mean by this. Time invested. So we invest time in learning to cultivate clarity prior to engaging in anything that we're doing, but also in retrospect. So we can look at a situation after it's already occurred and expand ourselves, take a deep breath, connect with all that is, and look at the situation as energy. And by that I mean, where was the energy of the individual talking to you? Perhaps it's coming from an external comment that was made that created some pain or misunderstanding inside of you. So what you would get by doing this is release from any of that, or the opportunity to make it more tolerable. So as you are faced with other humans in your life, things don't necessarily go the way you had intended, or the comments you make may not come out the way, not be received the way you wanted them to be received. And so the clarity that would help you is, in retrospect, how could I have done this? How could I have identified what was going on a little better so that I could have approached this conversation or this individual from a different perspective? We get so busy in our heads that we kind of just step into things without any thinking. And again, that's habit, because we were not taught this as children. We weren't taught to be still. Now, we did hear things like think before you talk or think before you act, but I don't know that it ever sunk into our heads in the right place. So as you learn how busy you are in your head, so that's also another focus here. How busy are you? Too busy to obtain clarity or to understand what your guidance is. Clarity is the gateway to personality awareness. Clarity is the gateway to spiritual awareness. So it stands to reason that if we can obtain clarity, we can do what our initial goal is to marry the advice and or recommendations from the guidance with the experiences that we already have on the earth plane. Clarity is a huge part of this, but it needs to be cultivated. You need to have new habits during this time of never assuming that things just happen to you. I would like clarity on this situation that occurred. Clarity of the energy that was involved when it occurred. What did I miss? And ask for help, ask for guidance. Take your deep breath, get bigger, and see if you can find a common pattern in how you miss things consistently. So patterns are a good thing. If you find that you are routinely getting your feelings hurt over this particular type of situation, that's a good thing, because then you can find a pattern. And when you find a pattern, you can find a source. the way we obtain our clarity moment to moment can help with in this moment activities so that we don't have to do things that have already occurred. I mean, that's my goal anyway. How can I keep those misunderstandings and hurt feelings away? I don't want them. They don't bring me joy. I want to make decisions so that I don't have to think about things that have already been done. I can stay in the moment again. That is a habit, learning to ask for clarity, learning to be receptive to the information you get. That's another one. So to do this, you want to look at a behavior that you have that brings you downward flow, something insignificant, and play with it and say, okay, so where does that energy come from? How can I ask for clarity? What can I use to be a trigger to remind me to ask for clarity? If you're like me, you forget, and then you go, oh, darn it, I forgot. And then you start it in a different new situation, and you might actually think about it, but you don't follow through with it. Well, there's still an advancement there. So look for ways to remind yourself to ask for clarity and then become still enough to receive the information. Things, like I said before, things don't just happen. There is a buildup of energy. So if the person that you're talking to has a past experience with you, they may come to the table with a deck of cards that are weighted in one direction or another. And so we don't want to assume that everyone's filled with joy and light. We don't need to be abused either. So that's when the clarity comes in to help you out. How can I manage this situation better? How can I manage my energy, not theirs? You can't influence or you can't affect them. You can't change their mouth from moving this direction or that direction. We want to understand how can I have the clarity I need to be in this situation with my feet planted and I'm connected. When I'm connected, I am more powerful. I'm more understanding of the other person's hurts and pains and fears that they're bringing to the table. And maybe then I can respond with more love and light. When you can ask for clarity consistently in your day-to-day experiences, you do have an outcome of more joy, more flow in your life, in the direction that you're chosen, your path choice. It nudges it in the direction that you want because you're consistently asking for clarity. And again, once you learn to do this consistently, then you don't have to put thought in it. You don't have to push it. It just occurs. The situations that you have going on in your life are in the flow for your chosen path. And when you obtain clarity about choice to choice to choice, then your path can be more evident to you and pull you and help you instead of you always looking for it. It is your friend. If ever you notice struggle in your life, struggle in a conversation, that's when you know I'm not planted, I'm not connected, and it's time to call in for guidance. Expand your awareness. Struggle, grief, turmoil does not come to you from a state of joy, from a state of connection. So again, that's a great tell. I'm not comfortable. This is chaotic. I'm not connected. I'm not aware of my connection. It can be a loving way to remind yourself to cultivate clarity moment to moment to moment. Going out to the garden, pulling the weeds and watering, that time that you spend pays you back in ways that you could never even imagine. A peace-filled heart, a peace-filled life, and joy moment to moment. I hope this resonated with you. And if you would like, you can always make comments in the sections below. Join our community. We'd love to have you. Peace to you and peace to your path. Bye-bye.